And so let's start with the topic. So today we will learn this introduction to the world of cloud computing and Microsoft Azure. So this will be the flow of the session. So to the introduction which we have already given, now cloud computing, then cloud power, storage, benefits, and then deployment models, cloud services, and what is Azure, what can you do in Azure, Azure services, creating Azure account, features, benefits, Q&A, and last but not the least, there will be a quiz contest, small quiz contest, and after that, those who will participate in that contest, we will be give certificates and some digital swags to them. So stay till the end. Okay, so yeah. So let's start. What is cloud computing? So when a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store access, manage and process the databases, networking, software, analytics and intelligence over the cloud, that is internet. Okay. So rather than local server or PC is generally termed as cloud computing. Okay. So anything which you are doing on the internet, it's basically a cloud which is not working offline, that is online. Okay. So we will discuss this part like briefly on the few next slides. Okay. So let's just see the cloud computing markets here. This is quarter two 2020. So here is the graph, pie chart. Okay, so the Amazon is having 33% and Microsoft 16, and then rest of the others like Google, Alibaba, IBM. Mm. So now, what is compute power? Okay, there are basically three types of compute power. You have like virtual machines, containers, serverless. Okay, these are all three. So the virtual machine, you have likely worked with a physical computer before. A physical computer resources such as CPUs, memory, operating systems and other application software. Okay, so a virtual machine is a software computer and like a physical computer, which gives you access to CPU, memory, operating systems and storage, RAM, etc. Okay, so you will learn these things like hands-on in this during the end of the session. We will also having a hands-on session on Microsoft Azure Live. So a virtual machine uses the physical resources of the host that it is running on. Okay, so every virtual machine has virtual devices that provide the same functionality as physical hardware. They also have additional benefits related to probability, manageability and security. Okay, for the example, you can launch a virtual machine, run applications for some time. Okay, so and then destroy the virtual machine when the resources are no longer needed. Suppose if you are building a computer in your home and the work is over, you need to shut down. Okay, and you have to pay for one time. But suppose if you want to host a computer, like obviously as a virtual machine you need to build a computer on the cloud server. So once you are building a computer on the cloud server, it's like open, and whatever the work you want, you can do there. And once you are done with your work, you simply destroy your computer, like so that you have to pay like whatever you used, not for the everything, every hardware. All right. So once you destroy it, they will not charge you for that. Okay. So now let's move on to containers. The containers is a standard unit of software that packages up code and all its dependencies, so the application runs quickly and reliability from one computing environment to another. Suppose I'm giving you an example. Suppose if you are building a software on Windows machine or a Linux machine. Okay, so when you are building and now you want to run the same software on your friend's laptop or computer that is on Mac or Windows. Suppose if you are building a build a software on Linux, and now you want to run the same software on the like on the Mac or Windows. Okay, so the issue is like you made the software with the dependencies which are there on Linux, but it will there is very high chance that your software will not run on the Mac and Windows, because the dependencies are different and the OS is different. Okay, so now what containers do? So there is a very good example of containers like Docker. Okay, maximum of you may heard this word. If you don't, like you today you are hearing this for the first time, I'm explaining this for quite so Docker is basically a software, you can say a software, a container which is like a host holding a power to run every software on every OS. Like if you are building a software and you have added a Docker on that, then it will covers all your dependencies, and then once you build it on Linux, and you can easily run the software on Windows and Windows, Mac, Linux, anywhere. Okay, just you need to install Docker on there also. Okay, Docker is a very simple and lightweight tool. You can easily install it. Okay, so now serverless computing. So serverless computing is a method of providing backend services on an as used basis. Okay, like you once whatever you use, you have to pay for that only. A serverless provider allows users to write and deploy code without the hassle of worrying about the underlying infrastructure. Okay, so a company that gets backend service from a serverless vendor is charged based on their computation, and do not have to reserve or pay for a fixed amount. Okay, they will pay as they go. Okay, whatever they use, whatever the amount of bandwidth they use or number of servers they use. Okay, so there is also a auto scaling features in serverless computing. So but there is a myth that but you have to note this, that despite the name serverless, physical servers are like it's saying like it's serverless, but still the physical servers are there with their where your softwares are hosted. Okay, so, serverless servers are still used for like still used by the provider you taken. For example, if you are taking serverless computing power from Azure, but you are taking as serverless, but the server is still there on their end, on their Microsoft end. Okay, so what is the difference here? Developer don't need to worry about the servers. Okay, they just using their logics to deploy and build their softwares. All right. So I hope till here there's no doubt. If you have any doubt, you can simply drop it on chat, and here Sweta will take your doubts, or will I will take your doubt at the end. All right. So next slide. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Cloud computing models. Okay. There are two types of cloud computing models. One is service model, and another is deployment model. Okay. There in deployment model there are three types: public model, hybrid model, and private model. But there are basically four. Here we mentioned three because basically majorly three are used as an organization. But there are another model is community model. Okay. And in service model there are three: infrastructure as a service, like product as a service, product as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so now let's move on to next slides. We'll briefly learn about this on the next slides. Okay, sorry guys, it's quite lagging. Give me a second. Sweta, my screen is still visible, right?
Yes, your screen is visible. I can see you. But screen sharing, I think it's not sharing. I think so.
Okay, I'm asking about screen share is only. Okay, just a second. Give me a sec. I think it's.
Sure.
Sorry guys for this delay. Now it's visible. Hello.
Yes, you are visible. I can see
Not
the
me.
screen.
My screen.
Yes.
It's visible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now cloud computing based on deployment model. Okay. So what are these? So basically, cloud deployment models indicate how the cloud services are made available to users There are basically four, as I told, four deployment models associated with cloud computing. So these are public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud. All right. So if we talk about public cloud, as the name suggests, this type of cloud deployment model supports all users who want to make use of a cloud resource such as hardware, operating system, CPU, memory, storage, RAM, whatever you know about hardware. Okay, and except this, like software is also used, such as application server and database. So basically, public cloud is used on the subscription basis. The providers take service like few subscriptions to provide you these things. And most common uses of public clouds are for application development and testing, non-critical things such as sharing files or email service. Okay, these are some example of public cloud. And now move on to private cloud. True to its name, a private cloud is typically an infrastructure used by a single organization. Such infrastructure may be managed by the organization itself to support various user groups, or it could be managed by a service provider that takes care of it either on site or off site. Okay, so basically private clouds are more expensive than public clouds due to capital expenditure involved in acquiring and maintaining them. However, private clouds are better able to address the security and privacy concerns of organizations today. Okay, so now if now move on to hybrid cloud. This is quite like, this is the hybrid of both. In a hybrid cloud, an organization make use of interconnected private and public cloud infrastructure. Many organizations make use of this model when they need to scale up their IT infrastructure rapidly, such as when leveraging a public cloud to supplement the capacity available within a private cloud. For example, if an online retailer needs more computing resources to run its web applications during the holiday season, it may attain those resources via public clouds. Okay, so basically what happen, if they exhaust with their public clouds, they can use their existing private clouds to supplement their existing public cloud. Okay, so this is called hybrid cloud. They can use both together. All right. So now last but not the least, community cloud. So this deployment model supports multiple organizations sharing computing resources that are a part of community. Examples include universities cooperating in certain areas of research, or police departments within a country or state sharing computing resources, access to a community cloud. Okay, this is typically restricted to the members of the community. For example, if you talk about your university, you can see like if you are using any email or any, like if your university has multiple branches, but from your university you like, not you but your admin of your university can access the other your sister universities details. But how they are using community cloud? They are like all their databases are stored together, they can access in their community. Okay, so all are hosted on the same cloud server. So now cloud based on service model. So there are three types of services, like software as a service, platform as a service. Sorry, that was not product. I was wrong. This is a platform as a service. Okay. So software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Okay. There are total three types of service. And so I will explain it in total on the next slide. It was better explanation there. So yeah, there are three types of service: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These services are given by like providers like Azure, Google, IBM, etc. All right, but there are one another, that is on premises. So basically, what is on premises? So if I have we had added an indicator there, you can see if there is a dark blue, then user will manage these things. Okay, but if it is a light blue, the the provider will manage the things. Okay, so now on what is on premises? On premises is a software that's installed in the same building as your business. It means like your every server, your networks, your CPU, your RAM, whatever your server is, it will be installed building only. Like wherever you are doing business, or wherever you are running your business, the servers and everything will be installed there only. So suppose if there is any a climatic change or any earthquake. Okay, so this type of thing, if this type of things will happen, their server may crash and every data will be lost, right? So there this comes into like in this type of situation, this thing is comes into picture like IaaS, like it means infrastructure as a service. All right. So infrastructure includes new resources such as virtual machine, networking, storage, and more. These resources are fundamental building blocks of cloud computing. When you are consuming infrastructure as a service, you have greater control over the resources, but also greater management overhead. So basically, you are having like maximum of the controls. Like you can see, you can control your application, you can control your data, you can control your runtime, operating system, and middleware. But what you are not, you can't control that virtualization, that hardware part you can't control. You can see servers you know don't need to control, storage you don't need to control. In IaaS I am talking about. Okay, then networking, virtualization, you don't need to control these things. Okay, so basically, for example, consider a virtual machine. You need to install and upgrade and then patch all the software required to run your application. You can configure your virtual machine to scale based on the load on your application. Suppose if like as I told you, if it's needed to scale, you need to scale your power of your computer because you need to do some powerful tasks. Then you if you are in your hardware PC, then you can't do it rapidly, right? You have to like purchase another RAM, another CPU, another like another storage. But in case of infrastructure as a as a service, in these things you don't need to like think about this thing. You just need to pay through your credit card. Like it's very minimum amount as compared to hardware. So you have to just you can just easily increase your resources just in just one click. All right, you can see this on your dashboard of Azure. We will talk about later in this session. So best example of infrastructure as a service is DigitalOcean. If you have heard about this, this is also a like popular server right nowadays. So okay, now platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service provides a platform with managed service where runtime environment and network settings pre-configured. Okay, this makes it easier for you to develop and deploy your application. Software upgrades and patches are automatically applied. Load balancing is also pre-configured. This enables the developer to focus on the application logic only instead of worrying about the infrastructure setup. Okay, so in this you can see maximum things are light blue. It means you don't need to like think about this deployment and all. Deployment will be automatically done in one click. You don't need to like think about anything. Like you don't need to set up a storage and all. You just need to create your application. You need to think about building logic on your software. That's it, and you can deploy your application in one click. So its best example of platform as a service is Heroku. If anyone have anyone used, like this is my favorite tool. I use in regular basis. Like whatever I create, I build. I like maximum time deploy on Heroku. Like it's a hassle-free platform. You can also use. In it till some extent is free of cost, but also you can, if you have any such project, you can also pay for it. Yeah. So now last but not the least, software as a service. Okay, so with software as a service, as you can see, there is a maximum thing is like everything is light blue. Okay, so entire application are managed and made available in cloud environment only. So its common example is Gmail. It's the best example of software as a service, but there are other example also like Dropbox, Mailchimp, Slack, and HubSpot. You guys are using these on daily life. Google Drive, everything is example of software as a service. All right. So now let's next slide. So basically, what are the benefits of cloud computing? I hope you guys are understand till now. So benefits of cloud computing is this will be cost effective and scalable, elastic, security, flexibility, disaster recovery, loss prevention, and sustainability. I hope it's all clear. Like it's basically it's cost effective as compared to hardware, as I already told you, and it's also scalable. You can scale your resource in just one click, and elasticity is, also comes under the scalability, and security thing is also you don't need to manage about think about security. That's too provided by the providers. And then flexibility, you can like access, suppose if you are using a hardware, you don't have flexibility. You have to use from the building only. If you are using on-premises service. But in case of cloud servers, you have flexibility. You can work from home, you can work from office, you can work from anywhere in the world. Okay, even if you are in vacation, you can use your software and all. Okay, and disaster recovery, loss prevention, and sustainability. As I already told you, like the server where the hardware were hardware were built by the company like Microsoft and Google are very secured, and they use like different kind of rooms and technology to protect them from disaster loss and everything. Okay, they have also backups of your data. That is why you are paying them. All right. So I hope you have a clear picture of cloud computing, what it is and how they are working. Okay, so now let's move on to Microsoft Azure. So from here, Sweta will take care. So Sweta.
Yes, I will take care from here.
Okay, cool. So should I stop sharing? You can stop. You can start
Yeah, I will
sharing.
start sharing.
All right, good. Just a second. Yeah. Mm, I think I have stopped, right? I think you can share now.
Yes, is my screen visible?
Just a second. I got a lag. You can confirm from audience. My screen is
Okay.
freeze, I think.
Okay, is
Okay.
my screen visible? Can everyone see my screen?
Just reply on chat, guys.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
You may start.
So, okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. I hope you are all doing good in this pandemic. And now I will be teaching you about Microsoft Azure. So, what is Microsoft Azure? Here are some prerequisites you will need to know to follow this course. This totally aimed the target audience Microsoft Azure, who they aim is Windows administrators who are managing Microsoft environments, then Azure administrators managing those infrastructure resources, and identity professionals working on Microsoft or non-Microsoft identity solutions, business and decision makers, and CXOs of small to medium-sized businesses and app developers who write or want to write application for the cloud. And for prior knowledge, the prior knowledge required to understand this Azure is at least a basic understanding of Windows Server and Active Directory and Azure administration, then a business strategy and a little bit of application development. There are only a few lessons where an understanding of application development is helpful, but you should be able to follow just fine if you don't know any of this. And the required resources is Azure subscription, of course. You have to get Azure subscription in order to do your projects or build or deploy and manage in Azure platform. So next. Azure is nothing but a set of cloud services which is continuously expanding. Well, if it helps your organization meet your current and future business challenges. Azure gives you a freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive global network. You also have the freedom to use tools and frameworks. Like you can use any tools and frameworks as you wish. You can use Python or Java, Node.js, etc. You can use it as you wish. Um, what is Azure? Well, Azure, what is Azure? Azure is cloud computing platform and an online portal to access and manage resources and services provided by Microsoft. With the help of Azure, you have everything you need to build to your great solution. Anyone who have access to the internet can access Azure Portal, and Azure Portal runs through these resources. And with these resources, we can build or manage or deploy applications in these resources. So here are some facts you must know about Azure. It was first launched on February 1st, 2010. I think we should be noting because there will be a quiz, as Manish mentioned, there will be a quiz. So the quiz will be very simple and easy, but it will be from these only, okay? So I want you to concentrate. So Azure was first launched on February 1st in 2010. It has data centers in 42 regions around the world. It supports multiple programming languages, like in last slide I said. Supports multiple languages and frameworks like Node.js, Java, etc. And it is absolutely free of cost to start. But you have to pay per use model. Like after you started using, you have to pay like that. And around 80% of the world's Fortune companies use Microsoft Azure, which will be calculated more than 500 companies. Top companies use Azure for their developments. So how does Azure work? Let's see a demonstration. It uses a technology called virtualization. Virtualization separates the tight coupling between computer's hardware and its operating system using an abstract layer called hypervisor. This is hypervisor. And the hypervisor emulates all the functions of the real computer and its CPU in a virtual machine. And it runs multiple virtual machines at the same time. Optimize the capacity of the abstracted hardware, and each virtual machine can run compatible operating systems such as Windows and Linux. I think my screen got hanged. Wait a minute. Yes. How the user connects to Azure. See. What Azure does is it takes this virtualization technology, as we discussed in the last slide, and runs it on a massive scale in Microsoft data centers throughout the world. Each data centers have these mini racks, okay, and with servers, and each server includes an hypervisor to run multiple virtual machines at the same time. Virtual machines are nothing but to run Linux and Microsoft Windows, etc. This is a network switch, and it provides connectivity to all those servers, and first server in each rack runs a special piece of software called fabric controller, and each of these fabric controller is connected to another piece of software known as orchestrator. And this orchestrator, what is this orchestrator and what does it do? Well, it is responsible for managing everything that runs in the Azure, including the response to user requests, and users can make requests using this orchestrator web API. The web API can be called by many tools, including the user interface of the Azure Portal. So when a user makes a request to create a virtual machine, the orchestrator packages everything that is needed, picks the best server rack, and then sends the package to the request to the Fabric controller. Once the Fabric controller has created a virtual machine, the user can connect to it. Azure makes it easy for developers and IT administrators to be agile when they build, deploy, manage their applications and servers. Well, building a VM is just a beginning with Azure's ever-expanding set of cloud services to help you meet your business challenges. And what can we do on Azure? What can we do on Azure? Azure provides over 100 services that enables to do everything from running own applications on virtual machines to exploring a new software experience like intelligent bots and mixed reality. You can start exploring the cloud by moving your existing application to a virtual machine that run on Azure. While migrating our existing apps to virtual machines is a great way to start, but we must not forget that the cloud is much more than that. Example, Azure provides machine learning and AI services to naturally communicate with our users through visual, hearing, and speak recognition also. Besides that, Azure provides storage services too that can help on deploying the app on cloud services. And what is a free how to get a free account on Azure? Well, Azure is a subscription-based service. In order to use any Azure service, you will need to have an active subscription. Microsoft offers several choices for getting a subscription. If you have any business of any size, there are several options for licensing Azure. The alternative is to add Azure to an existing enterprise agreement. For this option, contact your enterprise account manager. This is an intended to a large, like if you are having a large organization for a large amount of customers who already have an enterprise agreement, then we will be using this method. But the simplest and fastest method is to sign up for a 30 days free trial Azure subscription. You will be billed to credit card. Another way to get Azure is to sign up for Visual Studio Dev Essentials. This package includes a ton of developer tools on the Azure side. It includes a free account, including a 1-year free service. You can use it for free, but on the first month you have to pay $2,000. $2,000, which means nearly 14,819 rupees in Indian money. So yes. If you have a Visual Studio Professionals or Enterprise license, it includes a free Azure account with just $50 credit each month. We looked at a lot of options in this video. You should know that you can have multiple Azure subscriptions. For example, you might have one through work, one for volunteering work at the local charity, or either your organization, etc. Or you can do it as this method, like you have to pay for 2,000 USD dollars, and then you can get a monthly free subscription. Next. Yeah, this is the same as how to log in and get it. The free that I told you, right? The monthly subscription, you have to pay 2,000 USD dollars. You can log into this email ID, and for getting an Azure, you have to either have Microsoft account or GitHub account, and with that you can follow the steps and you can get into the you can get the Azure subscription. And Azure Services. Speaking of Azure Services, more than 200 services are provided through Microsoft Azure, and these services are categorized into 18 divisions. Okay, there are more than 200 services, but we can put it down into 18 categories. Here's a big picture available of the services and the features in the Microsoft Azure, but we will not be using all of them. Only the most required thing we'll be using, and I will tell you what it is and how the users will use it. So these are the most commonly used services in Azure. Compute we'll be using for virtual machine, for creating virtual machines, and networking, storage, mobile databases, web, IoT, AI, big data, DevOps. And I will be telling you each of them. In compute, even in compute there are several numbers of services, and we'll be looking up to that in the next slide. So now let's see about compute services. They are often one of the primary reasons why companies move to Azure platform, because it provides virtual machines. Azure provides a range of options for hosting applications and services. Well, here are some examples of compute services in Azure. Azure Virtual Machines. And in these machines, a Windows or Linux of any configuration can be created within a matter of seconds of time. And you can be hosting those Windows and Linux via Azure. Scaling for Windows and Linux are also done through Azure. The next thing. And the next service within compute is the cloud services. Users can create scalable applications within the cloud using virtual machines, whose provision, loading, balancing, and health monitoring are handled by Azure post deployment. There are two types of cloud Azure roles. Okay, the only difference between the two is how your role is hosted on the virtual machines. The two roles are web role and workers role. Automatically, the web roles, what it does means it automatically deploys and hosts your app. Okay, and the worker role, it does not use IaaS and runs your app standalone. So that are the difference between those roles. And the next thing is service fabric. It simplifies microservice deployment and application of lifecycle management. So that is what service fabric does. And then next service comes under compute is the functions. It is easily used to build applications using serverless functions in any programming languages of your choice. You can choose any programming languages to build an application. Now we are going to see about networking. And networking is also a service provided via Azure Services. And in that, what we can do is we have Azure CND service, which are highly used for delivering high bandwidth content to users worldwide. The next service is Express Route. It lets on-price networks to, as Manish explains what are on-price and IaaS. So on-price networks into cloud, Microsoft Cloud through private connection. It allows that. And the next thing we are going to see is a virtual network, and it enables Azure resources securely and communicate with each other. It's mostly used for privacy-based problems. And the next is Azure DNS, and it is a hosting service that allows user to host their DNS domains in Azure. DNS is nothing but domain name system. The domain name system is a hierarchical and decentralized naming system for computer services. And other resources connected to internet or a private network, it associates various information with domain name assigned to each of the particular entities. The next slide is storage services. Under storage services, we will be seeing disk storage. Disk storage provides cost-efficient. You may have heard about HDD and SSD cards. So in these options will be provided virtually through storage and disk storage on the Azure virtual machine platforms. Okay. And storage, block storage. From this icon symbol itself, we can understand it has something to do with binary. Well, yes, it is used to optimize store massive amounts of unstructured data, text, and binary data. Massive amounts, you can be storing this via block storage. And how Microsoft Azure can be used for mobiles. With Azure, developers can create mobile backend services for for Android devices, iOS devices, and even for Windows applications. It can also be done very quickly and easily if we know how to operate Azure confirm. Features that used to time and increase project risks, such as adding corporate sign-in and then connecting to on-premises resources such as SAP, Oracle, SQL Server, and SharePoint, etc. Now we'll be seeing about web, and having a web experience is critical in nowadays business. And you can also use it for starting. I explained that we can also use it for mobile, web, IoT, AI, machine learning, etc. And for web, there are here are the given. So I told you, right, there are more than 200 services provided by Azure, and these are the service names which can be used for creating a web easily via Azure. And we'll see what are these services names and what they will do. Azure App Services quickly create a powerful cloud web-based apps, and our notification hubs are used to send push notifications to any platform from any backend. And API management, they are used for publishing API to developers, partners, and even employees securely at large scales. Cognitive search is deployed for fully managed search as a service. And web apps features of Azure App Service, it is used to create and deploy mission critical web apps at scale. And Azure Signal Service, it will be helping for add real-time web functionalities easily. And the next thing we'll be seeing is IoT. And you may also know about what is IoT. Personally, digital assistants lead to smartphones, and there are smart watches, smart thermostats, and even smart refrigerators are now available in our world. So personal computers used to be a norm. Now the internet allows any item that's online capable to access valuable information. So these are the services and their description, like what these services do. This comes under among IoT system, fully managed global IoT software as a service. SaaS, as Manish have told you what SaaS does. SaaS solution that it makes it easy to connect, monitor, and manage IoT assets at scale. And Azure IoT Hub, a messaging hub that provides between monitor of millions of IoT devices. And next we'll be seeing is the uses of Azure. So what are its uses? Azure is mainly used for deploying an application You can and for testing the application, whether it runs and what are the defaults it has, what are the errors, like that, everything we can test it via Azure itself. And we can also host an application via Azure. It's also useful. These main things for web development, Azure is useful, and mostly companies use Azure for creating a virtual machines. Like I said in the last previously before slides, that virtual machines, like you can create a Windows or Linux virtual machine via of any configuration via Azure. And for integrating and syncing features and collecting on strong metrics and virtual hard disk, like you can store your data on a virtual hard disk for 5 GB, I think so. And the interface of Azure Portal. So this is what an Azure Portal, if you have a subscription and you log into an Azure Portal, this is what it looks like. And Azure Portal is nothing but a web-based unfiled console that provides an alternative to command line tools. Actually, it's kind of similar to Google Clouds, except it's Microsoft and that is Google. And with an Azure Portal, you can manage your Azure subscription by using a graphical user interface. You can, as I said before, build, manage, and monitor everything from simple web apps to complex cloud developments. It is also used to create custom dashboards for an organized view of your resources and what you're using. You can organize it as per your wish. Configure accessibility options for optimal experiences. And Azure is mostly similar to G-Cloud. Some similarities are we can create a virtual machines and of any configuration, and they also provide app services. They both have SQL databases, and they both also have Kubernetes services. But the main thing about Azure is it has more than 200 services. And what is Azure Market? So this is what an Azure Market will look if you opened it in your website. Well, Azure Market helps connect users with Microsoft partners, independent software vendors, and startups that are offering their solution and services, which are optimized to run on Azure. Azure Marketplace, our customers can find, try, purchase, and provision applications and services from hundreds of leading service providers. If we can also provide our product into this market Azure Market Microsoft Place. If we are done with the project, we can also sell it here, and we can also let the users download it and use it. The solution catalog spans several industry categories such as open source container platforms like virtual machine images, databases, application build and deployment software, developer tools, and threat detection, and commonly rarely used for blockchains. Using Azure Marketplace, you can also provision end-to-end solutions quickly and reliability, hosted in your own Azure environment. At the time of writing, there are more than 80,000 listings. Well, and yes, I think we have taught you about what are the basics of clouds and Microsoft Azure. And if you have any questions, any queries after this event, you can note down our email IDs and you can email us anytime. And we will reply you at once we saw your email. So here's the thing about me. So my name is Shweta Selvabardi, and this is my LinkedIn ID and Instagram and GitHub Twitter ID. You can feel free to communicate, connect, and interact with me. And if you have any doubts, I will try my best to clear all your doubts. By if I know, I will try to clear. Otherwise, I will try do a research and try to clear it to you. You can feel free to connect me via LinkedIn and contact me via my mail ID. And this is about Manish, and Manish will explain about himself. Manish, are you there?
Yeah. So you
Okay,
can find me on internet, like it's very common. So I will share the deck. If you have any questions, you can ask on the chat now. We are open for Q&A, I think. Right,
yes.
Shweta? Yeah.
If you have any queries, you can ask on the chat box. And if you don't have any questions, we can move on to the quiz. So no one have any doubts. Can we move on to our a quiz? Can I conduct the quiz now?
Yes, I think we
Yeah.
can do.
Okay. So this is just a fun task, and it will be very simple, and it will be from what we thought. It will be very simple. So wait, let me just share my screen once again. Is my screen visible?
Excuse me, is there any link for the quiz?
No, actually, we will be playing on Kahoot. Wait, let me send it. I have shared the Kahoot link. In chat
Sweta, I
box, I
think there should be ID.
no that actually there is a game pin for logging onto Kahoot, the website name link kahoot.in.
Okay, okay, okay.
I've shared the link, and after
I think you are
putting that
sharing
in the
the
browser.
questions too in your screen.
Oh yes, in starting. No, actually now we'll be going with this.
Yeah. Okay, you.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was not sharing my entire screen. It seems. Okay.
Yes.
Is my screen visible now? Which page have you been seeing? God.
Yeah, now it's good. Okay, guys, you
So
join with your correct name. Okay.
yes,
Join with
please
your
join with
correct
your
name
correct name because we will be providing certificates for everyone. Jitu. Okay.
and
So please join
that.
with your correct name. Kritika. Hi, Kritika.
Hi.
Can you send link again?
Sorry.
Can you send the link again?
Send the link
Just write
again.
on chat
Sure. Okay.
kahoot.it.
Okay. Wait. Let me send it again. I sent the link again in the chat box.
That's not clickable. Let's we can try with. Hmm.
So these are the players. Can we start the game?
Let's wait. I think here we are.
How many attendees are there at the
20,
moment?
20. Just wait for them.
Okay. Okay. Let's wait. Let's wait.
Join. You can join with your phone. You can join with your PC.
Laptop.
Wherever you. Yeah.
Excuse me, is there
Yes.
any practical activity over there? I mean, after this quiz?
No, there are no activities. Just this quiz, and after that we will be just. That's it. We'll be ending the meet.
All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Guys, if you have any like while if the browser is loading, please tell me, okay? Like wait for a minute, like that you say, okay? So is that it? Can I start, or is anyone still loading, trying to come in?
Let's wait for 2 more minutes if anyone wants to join.
Oh, okay.
3. Yeah, people are joining.
Yeah.
Let's start. I think no one will join. 13 people are there and call their 18s.
Oh, okay. So can we start? No one is. Can we start?
Yeah.
Lima joined. Lima
Yeah.
joined. Okay, let's wait for another 1 minute. So how many attendees are there right now, Manish?
18.
18. Okay. I think we'll start because time is also going on. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay, started. All the best, guys. Here you go.
Okay. So what is Windows? What are the roles in Windows Azure?
I think Manish got this in the second slide, I think so.
Yeah.
20 seconds. Take your time.
Answer, guys. Answer. Just tap on the emoji.
Yes.
Okay.
6 of them are correct. Nice.
Right.
Kritika, I know because last time too Kritika was the topper.
Thank you.
Okay,
In
let's
which
see.
year was Azure launched?
In which year
Okay.
Azure? Okay, I think I said while teaching this question, I told everyone that we will be conducting quiz. So concentrate. Exactly while teaching this part, I said it. So let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
6 of them are right.
Great.
Still Kritika is the topper. Let's see.
Again,
And Krishna
nice.
Priya and Sindhu Vishwajit Prachi. Congrats. Let's see whether you can beat Kritika or not. So different types of services offered in the cloud.
I already covered this.
Yeah.
Don't miss it, guys.
The entire slide was about this.
Exactly. Okay.
Wow, 10
nice.
answers.
Great.
Great.
Okay.
Wow. Congrats, Krishna Priya, and getting 3 correct answers in a row, and Kritika too. Kritika is unbeatable.
Let
In how many regions
So,
across the world is Azure data center present?
worldwide, how many data centers are present in Azure? Okay, 5 of them correct.
All right.
Krishna Priya, wow, congrats Krishna Priya.
Nice.
Prachi and
Nice,
Kritika.
Prachi, nice.
Nice. How many services does Azure support presently?
Okay, yeah, this was
I
covered.
said these about
There are 18
4
categories
times.
and
I said the same thing.
yeah, there are 18 categories and
And yeah.
okay,
6
nice,
of them
nice.
right. Kritika and Krishna Priya. Kritika, come on, keep doing. Sindhu, Brashi, nice.
Okay, which one of these?
These top 5
What?
names are keep on.
Okay, nice.
Which one of these is going to Azure? Yes, we thought about this services. So
Quite easy.
this is not one of them.
Nice.
Correct. Vishwadit, congrats Vishwadit and Kritika, Rishi and Krishna Priya for being on top. So how many cloud services models does? Okay. 7 answered the question. 8, 10 answered the question. 6 more seconds. 12, 13, 8 answered the correctly.
No, 4 answer was correct.
Actually, these 5 players are on the top and they're just fighting among themselves.
Okay, what is the abbreviation?
That's
So I was
calculation.
also wrong here. Yeah.
shit. In hurry, I clicked wrong option.
Oh.
You can change, I think.
No, actually one click only. I gave it an option like only one click, I think so.
All right.
Yes, platform is. Prachi, wow,
Okay.
Prachi,
Oh,
congratulations in just one single strike. Congrats, Prachi and Anand too for coming in the top 5.
Office is a 365. Okay, I covered
It's
this. I covered this.
yes, you covered it.
Yeah. Just remember Gmail. I can give you this hint.
8
Oh,
answered it
nice.
correctly.
Nice.
Prachi is of Kritika, of course. Actually, if
Okay.
you don't know about Kritika, actually she is also an MLSA, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. And last time while we were attending a meeting, she was unbeatable. She ranked first at the same topic actually, Microsoft Azure, I think so.
Okay. Which are the following supported by Azure? So,
Following some, I thought it is 2 slides.
yeah,
This
it's
topic.
a good question.
Wow, good. Most of them answered
Awesome.
correctly. And she still stops and congrats Krishna Priya Vishwadit. Come on, you can do it.
All right. 5 strike streak.
Try streaks at the same time. How does Azure works? I think I played on a video and explained it part. So let's see how many answers will be correct. Seven answers. Virtualization. Kritika, I knew you would be unbeatable. Azure Services.
Okay, I just answered this.
Yes, and I also thought about it.
Okay, I don't remember it.
Let's see. 18, okay. Yet Kritika tops the rank. And congrats, Anand, on your 5 correct streak. Which is responsible for managing everything that happens in Azure? Yeah, I said this too. Orchestrator, correct? Freshie, oh my god, these two are still fighting for the first place. Let's see who will be the winner.
Windows or Linux of any configuration can be created within seconds using. Using
Using?
what can be created? Yeah, these are operating systems.
This is very basic.
Yeah,
Very basic question.
I had covered in I think third slide or second.
Literally in 4 slides we told about this. Correct. Virtual machines.
Okay.
Virtual
Right,
machines we can use
right.
okay, Windows and Linux.
Exactly.
Kritika.
Okay.
Yes, let's see
Nice,
who will be
nice.
the winner at last. Kritika or Prachi.
Yeah. How many types of Azure Cloud Services roles are there? Okay. Roles.
I also said about these rules. It was not in the PPT, but I said it anyway. And what those roles do, etc. Two basic answer correct.
Okay.
Congrats, Anand. And let's see the next.
DNS abbreviation. Okay.
It's
Okay. Is it domain name system?
oh,
No. No, it's digital naming system. I don't know.
okay, domain name system it is. Anand. Wow, top 3. And come on, Krishna Priya and Shweta, you can also do it. Let's see who will be the final winner. Block storage. Yes, I did teach about block storage on the storage on the storage services systems. So, 11 answers. Correct. All of the above. Prachi and Anand. Still Kritika tops the rank. This helps to connect users to Microsoft partners, independent social networks, and startups. Yes, if I want to give a clue, I thought about it literally at the last, before ending the event. I actually thought about it. So it would be easy. Let's see how many of them remembered. Microsoft Markets. Come on, Kritika, Anand, Prashi, Krishnapriya, and Vishwadit. This is a very easiest question, so you can answer it very quickly.
Yeah, Sundar Pichai. Sorry, no. Steve Jobs. Yes.
Satya and Adella. Okay. As expected, it was Kriti. And congrats on Anand, Prashi, Krishnapriya, and Vishwajit for coming into this. Nirbama, congratulations, you just answered 4 correctly. So then next.
Okay, this is the last question, I think.
Last question.
Yeah. What are cloud computing deployment models? Okay, I told you.
Yes, an entire slide he explained for more than 2 minutes, and you can do it.
Yeah.
Well, correct.
Okay, great, guys.
Whoa,
Great.
Actually, great. This is great. So let's see who are the toppers.
OP.
Prashi, congratulations on being the third. Anand,
All right.
congratulations on third.
First.
As expected.
Okay, Kritika.
Who's the spotlight? Kritika. I knew it
all
would
right.
be Kritika.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And okay. That's it, guys. If you have any queries, and we will also be conducting various kinds of events even after this event. So if you want anything specific, you can tell us. We'll be taking about that event in the next program. Great event. Yes, the event has ended officially. If you have any doubts or queries and any corrections, like don't do this and do that, would be great. Like any suggestions, you can turn on your mic or put it on the chat box. Otherwise, that's it, guys. The meeting is over. You can leave
Okay,
the
guys,
meet.
great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. Actually, I had more than 50 responses, but at the end of the meet, we had 16 to 17 attendees. Thank you so much for your support. It really means much to me.
Yep. Great, guys. Good night.
Great.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Good night. Bye bye.
Yeah.
We'll be ending the meet now.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you.